you have to give up something to get where you want, really and truly. And it all comes down to sacrifice, like really and truly, like what you're willing to give up, in terms of what you're willing to get, and that was actually a turning point, to be honest, when I realized that, like, I have to step out of my comfort zone. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And to be honest, even now, like, we miss my family back home, but not to say miss them because I kind of get used to it, you know? It become a trend where I'm like, mom understands that then, yeah, she will see me whenever, because I'm a job this at the end of the day, so really and truly, really play upon my mind or anything like that.
I'm wondering if you're following the chat, Julia. I'm wondering if you're following the chat. There are some interesting comments there. You know, based on the discussion that I would have had with, for say, the Kyle Butler a few weeks ago, he mentioned the transition that he and his brother Leon would have encountered when they were leaving Jamaica to take on, the next phase of their development, which was in Germany. They mentioned the likes of the music, the food. So I'm going to ask this one, Junior. Tell us how the food was when you made the transition. Were you prepared? Were you ready to do some cooking, Um,
Well, yeah, I could I do my things, to be honest, when I actually branch off the New York, me da fi is either me da fi try a thing or until me finally get it, or YouTube at that time, and them way there until I get it and thing. But or you have to get up every day and go buy fast food, and then when I look on it, it will take a toll on you over time because you eat too much fast food and I play, then you find out say start with injury prone and muscle tenderness and all them things, but because of the food we eat, because it not last long in your body. And me just start have to do my thing, and then from there, so right now, them can't talk to me.
so, guys, you're hearing Junior Flemings, and the man is telling us that he's a big chef, and he's doing his thing. Junior, you are at a level where local players back here at home dream of making such a transition. What can you tell players back home, and especially those who are on the platform here tonight? What does it take to survive at this level? And especially, what does it take to make the transition to this level?
I think two main things. I think I'm gonna point out here, which is one. I think attitude. I think attitude has a lot to do with it. In terms of you turn up to training. As we can see, like on time is a big thing. Like overseas. You know, you arrive on time or arrive a minute after. That's considered late. There's absolutely no excuse for that. And also the other thing is that like training, like you don't actually train only when a training time. Like a really and truly where you put in behind the scenes actually make the difference. And a lot of people don't know that. Like you go to training every day, but are you willing to put in the extra work? Are you willing to go home and go to the gym afterwards? Are you willing to double up? Like what you willing to do in terms of making difference? Because you have 500 million people like fighting for the same spot, fighting for the same job that you have, and that's the mindset you have to have every time, you step on the field. Like, can you imagine someone's waiting for you to screw up or to do something to take your spot? So really and truly, there's no, room for that. So you have to, be ahead of a game, one step at a time and all of that. And also, you know, training, like when you're training, 110% required every time, like absolutely no excuse, because you train at that level, the games become so easy. Sometimes you have to do something in the game, you have to wonder, like, you really please yourself. You have to like, I mean, you really do that? You have to be no way, do. Because of the work we put in before the actual day when of the game, and thing. And also, what I think, was a big thing, even, with myself, when I was back in Jamaica, was that if we are training and we have 3 cones for run to go around, this is just a perfect example. While we are run, and before we reach the third one, we stop at the second one and go around it and miss out the last one, and look at the coach and look. But really and truly, you treat yourself. You get what I say? And that's the mindset with over here. So like, them man over here, so when a 3 cone there, them a put a 4th one, and them a go around the 4 of them. You tell them 1 time, them a do it 3 times. So that's the mindset at Jamaicans, like, we cheat ourselves a lot, we cheat and things say, yeah, like, the coaches we are cheat, but yourself, you cheat really and truly. Because when you turn up on game days, or when you turn up and you say like yourself, like, why the person they cannot do this? Why him cannot do so good? Why him cannot play so good? But you don't know what that man there do when you're eye lock. You don't know what kind of work that man there put in. You know the sacrifice that man there do. You get what I say? So I just want, like the mentality. Don't only train in a training time. Don't only go to the gym when a time, when you have gym session. You get what I say? So I just that's the mindset in. Brother, come over here with the phone. Is this my youth? You know, break the brother. Me here start my chair thing.
Class from Lambert, yeah.